I'm Eric, the naturopath from New Zealand. Thank you for coming back and looking at my channel. Let's talk about Manuka honey from where I live in New Zealand. Okay, so Manuka is an amazing tree, beautiful smelling tree, Leptospermum scoparium. So don't confirm the New Zealand tea tree, the Manuka, with the Australian tea tree. Okay, and that's Melaleuca alternifolia. That's Australian tea tree. We're talking the Leptospermum scoparium, so this is from New Zealand. There's a lot of arguments with the Aussies and the Kiwis, because the Kiwis believe that it grew here originally, but the Aussies believe it grew there, and then with the separation of the continents thousands of years ago, that we ended up with the stuff that the Aussies had. But who cares? The thing is, Manuka contains many different compounds, different glycerols, and there's one called dihydroxyacetone. There's all these compounds in it which are amazing. To pass as the definition of Manuka, the Ministry for Primary Industries in New Zealand, I think this only came in January, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, it has to pass 5 particular criteria. The first one being the DNA of the honey has to contain Leptospermum scoparium. I think most people watch this video would have never even tasted like real ridgy, didgy, 100% Manuka honey. Most of you guys out there will be spending too much on crap that's diluted right down. But me being a beekeeper and knowing people who have Manuka, I can tell you this stuff is absolutely phenomenal. It's thick, it's almost like tar. It's a really deep yellow brown color. It's difficult to extract Manuka honey out of a frame, a beehive frame, and it's just so expensive now. When I came to New Zealand in 1998, it was still pretty cheap because not many people knew the benefits. But you know what? Me being a beekeeper, to be perfectly honest, nearly all honeys are good for you to eat in small amounts, because I've got honey that's several years old, it doesn't go off. Honey contains bacteriostatic properties that kill many bacteria on contact. Okay, it's the perfect stuff to use on cuts or burns or any kind of problem. It heals ulcers beautifully. It tastes good. But what about for SIBO? Is it going to cure SIBO? No, it's not. So don't think just by taking Manuka honey every day you're going to cure SIBO. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Remember, all honeys do contain sugar, lots of sugar. So when people think they can eat tablespoons of honey a day and like cure their gut problem, it ain't going to happen. Small amounts are beneficial, but I mean, how many people will take a tiny little bit of honey? Okay, they don't, because most people take a lot of honey. So how do you do this? How do you start? Well, if you get Manuka, I recommend that you buy a good quality Manuka that's been certified, and if you can afford it, you get one with a high UMF factor. Okay, what we call the unique, it's a Manuka factor basically. So it will show you if the grade is a high grade or a low grade, or so look at the numbers. The higher the numbers, for example, the higher the UMF factor of that Manuka honey. It certainly is medicinal, but I can tell you there are a lot of bush honeys, or dark or really dark, almost black honeys that are just as good as Manuka. If you live in a country or know a beekeeper, I'd recommend that you go and visit that person and sample some of their honey, particularly if it's a really dark honey. The darker honeys tend to have more of a, in my opinion, medicinal value than the really pale sort of honeys. So yeah, we had a good season this year. I think we ended up with about 150 pounds of honey. So that's not a bad haul. So I'm going to try and make some mead up. And of course we've got tons of it stockpiled in the cellar under the kitchen. And we've been stockpiling honey for a while now. So it's nice to trade it with people, or it keeps for a long time. So there you have it. Is Manuka honey good for SIBO? I think it is in tiny amounts, but remember, I think a lot of dark honeys work just as well as Manuka. Okay, and you won't be paying dumb money for good honey. Thanks for tuning in. Keep bees, it's worth doing.